行くぜ Continue SCP OK SCP 極秘ファイルパート3仕事をしてるだけはあ3時55分だ今行く3時55分ケント来ないのいやいい俺の名前なんだっけカールだカールそういうのは性に合わない何の話ですかああカール月に1回のセミナーに行くところなんだセミナー財団は毎月有名人を読んでお話ししてもらうの。おう、有名人。SCP に役立つ経験や知識についてね。今日の講演者はトレバー博士。財団ではとっても人気なんだ。面白そうですね。聞きたいです。今セミナーのリンクを送るからちょっと待って。OK。オンラインだ、やっぱり。今回はそんなに怖くないのかな。前回はほんまに怖かったからな。
There are many stories in this world. Some are read widely all over the world. Some are hidden in dust and known only by a handful of people. Today I'm going to tell you a story no one else has heard before. A real story of mystery and wonder and adventure. And then you too will become the guardian of this story. The story takes place in a world of long ago. The hero of our story is a little boy. His name is Daniel. One day, out of nowhere, Daniel got a serious case of chickenpox. It made him look like a strawberry. To make sure he didn't spread it to others, Mrs. Page, the principal, had him isolate in an attic. And so, in the attic he lived, all on his own.
Mr. Daniel, while up here in this attic, you'll have plenty of time to practice your penny whistle. I hope you'll practice well and prepare for next month's art festival.
But Mrs. Page, the melody is so difficult.
Don't give up, boy. You don't give up before you fight.
D. Oh.
Daniel was reluctant at first, but he trusted Mrs. Page, and he knew he should listen. And so he practiced the penny whistle.
音ゲーこういうの一番苦手だよ。何の音楽もない。
Suddenly, he heard some strange noises in the corner of the attic.
Huh? Who's there?
Daniel decided to go over and take a look.
おお、ここから操作できる。ネズミ捕りに何かが引っかかってる。
It was a mouse trap, and there was a red origami paper dragon inside of it. Daniel carefully removed it. It was marvelous and beautiful. The only problem was part of its wing was damaged. But Daniel found a way to repair it. なんだ
ドラゴンを修復するアイテムを選択する。これしかペンか。これ何紙みたいなやつ。
Daniel held the repaired paper dragon high up in the air, imagining that it soared over all the world below. He played and played with the paper dragon.
Wee! Woo! Dragon! Soar!
In the warm afternoon sun, Daniel had to fight his eyelids just to keep them open.
ずっと一人だもんな。い
Is
じめ
it?
だな。
Could it be? Or is this all just a dream?
The next day, with boredom and loneliness weighing him down, he began to fiddle with the old radio.
Our town is located in the plains, where earthquakes are not particularly common. Although there are 17 fault zones around us, they are all inactive.
A scrunched up ball of paper rolled over to his feet.
Where did this paper ball come from?
Just as Daniel went to pick it up, the ball suddenly came to life, and it rolled away. Daniel chased after it.
おめっちゃ逃げる。ネズミみたいな。
Just as he was about to seize the rolling paper ball, suddenly, terrible sparks erupted from it. Before his very eyes, the paper ball began to grow, bigger
こんなち
and
っちゃくな
bigger.
ったんじゃないの実は。
At that moment, a red figure suddenly appeared.
全然そんなことない。ドラゴン。
The red figure quickly subdued the paper ball and threw it into a cardboard box. Daniel studied the red figure carefully. It had a sticker on its fluttering wing. It was the paper dragon.
I wasn't dreaming. Thank you for saving me.
Daniel was grateful and very happy. He walked closer to the paper dragon, but the paper dragon seemed timid and afraid and backed away. Just then, Daniel had an idea. He took out his penny whistle and slowly played a tune.
またはあ。
The paper dragon enjoyed the sound very much. It began to move along with the rhythm, flipping up and down in the air. Soon the two were playing and dancing, just like old friends.
全部夢説。
The paper dragon traced out a beautiful arc in the air, communicating with Daniel in a unique way.
My cherished friend, after many long years, we finally meet again. Tell me, how has your family been? A great thank you for playing that music
声
for
低
me. You know how I love the beautiful
Kaya
rhythm
ko
of
siya.
that instrument. But we ought to take precautions, as the room is not stable. Do you still remember how the room works? You're welcome to visit any time.
The piece of paper then changed back into the
Oh,
shape of a paper
戻れるん
dragon
だ。
and flew into the cardboard box. The box closed shut, and a calm silence was restored to the attic. Daniel rushed to find a watercolor pen and marked the box with excitement in his fingertips.
Here. Be dragon. 出てきた。
Over the next few days, the paper dragon came out often to play with Daniel. During this time, Daniel introduced many of his friends to the paper dragon.
That cat's name is Mrs. Carter.
Carter.
Ever since I secretly fed her some fish for dinner, we've been good friends. That's Duke, Mrs. Jessica's pet. He doesn't like rainy days or
Jessica.
Mrs. Carter.
人間の友
Only
達はいないの
smoked
か。
sausages fit his taste. And now, we are friends too. My name is Daniel. What's your name?
The paper dragon flapped its wings, as if it didn't understand him.
Well, since you like the sound of the penny whistle so much, why don't I just call you Penny? I'll keep
Voice.
practicing to make it sound better.
Daniel and Penny
Penny.
then played baseball together in the attic.
Let's play cat.
できるの？潰れない？おーい。にうおーっとーい。めっちゃなんか光ってたなボール。はい。テカテカしてた。はい。おい。
But just as they were in the
ずるじゃないあれ。
middle of enjoying themselves,
あそ
a
こで待つのは。
violent shaking suddenly rose from the ground.
うわー、そんなに力。あ、まあ最初フルパワーで投げた
The
けど。
stubborn earthquake is back at it, folks, and it seems even stronger than last time.
At this moment, the box suddenly shot open, and thick clouds of smoke billowed out, followed by several paper balls. Penny attacked the paper balls without a moment's hesitation, and promptly threw them back into the box.
名前ペニーやのに字幕保
Penny
持する。
then flew around in front of Daniel and rushed right back into the box. As the box closed, the earthquake stopped. Facing a friend's farewell without a formal goodbye, Daniel felt confused and lost. He moved the box to the center of the attic. Facing it, he practiced his penny whistle day in and day out.
はあ。
As the days went by, Daniel's playing became smoother. One day, the box suddenly began to move.
Huh?
あん
One,
おドラゴンいっぱい。
three, four. This time there were 4 paper dragons. But they weren't alone. Enemies began to jump out of the box too.
Earthquake! Another earthquake! This time it's reached a magnitude of 5.8!
In that small attic, the 4 paper dragons fought fiercely against the paper balls. This time, the paper balls used new
夢
tactics.
落ちじゃね？
They clumped together into a single monstrous ball of paper. It began to shoot strong bursts of electric sparks at the paper dragons as they flew through the air. As they were hit, the paper dragons fell from the air, one after the other. Seeing the injured paper dragons, Daniel felt very distressed and anxious. Just then, one of the paper dragons painfully started to fly and gathered the remainder of its power. paper dragon transformed into a great beam
お
of light
お
and dove straight down to pierce through the monstrous paper ball. And then came another paper dragon. The monstrous paper ball was blasted to bits, exploding into smaller paper balls. Trembling, they struggled to escape back into the box. The sacrificed paper dragons were reduced to swirling shreds of paper, and a silence pervaded. Peace and tranquility were restored once again to the attic. Daniel saw the remaining 2 paper dragons lying on the floor, badly wounded. He rushed to grab some stickers and treated them at once.
治癒しました。治療しました。おお、出てきた。出てきた。何これ。拾う。ペニー。ペニーっていうのか。オレンジ色。
Suddenly, countless paper dragons began to gush from the box. The 2 wounded paper dragons were repaired and began to fly. Like 2 colored threads, they merged with the other dragons, flying in unison. The dragons moved like a tide, flying freely through the attic. Daniel eagerly took out his penny whistle. He showed all his paper dragon friends the results of his hard work and practice.
おい、また
In the sweet melody of his playing, Daniel felt himself enter into the world of dragons.
No.
The paper dragons merged into a long letter and floated down towards Daniel to tell their story.
After the last war,
出た。
the fantasy
Good point.
world enjoyed a long spell of peace and stability. But now, the giants have returned. They have launched ferocious attacks, trying to invade your world through the room. We are prepared to launch the final defense. Then we will have to destroy your room, for it is the last remaining entryway into your world. Please believe this farewell will only be temporary. We will not be apart forever, and we will never forget our eternal mission of protecting you.
At that moment, the paper dragons flew back into the box. Daniel still couldn't fully understand what the paper dragons had meant, but he had a vague feeling in his heart that he may never see his new friends again. A few days later, Daniel's chickenpox had fully recovered. He could now play the penny whistle very, very well. But the paper dragons never returned.
バッグに入れる。ずっと何の話だろう。SCP の話どこ行ったんだよ。
Maybe it was time to leave and move on.
Earthquake warning! Magnitude 6.2!
また地震起きた
A
な。
massive earthquake is
前
hitting our
5.8
town!
ぐらいやったな。
All townspeople, please leave your
Just then, countless paper dragons shot from the cardboard box. However, it seemed like they were under attack, spinning and falling through the air in confusion.
What's happening?
Daniel quickly grabbed the stickers out from his bag and did his best to heal the injured paper dragons.
おお、いっぱい出てきてる。おおおお、めっちゃめっちゃ出てくる。おう、シールを貼る。一匹ずつやるの？今助ける。今助ける。おお、めっちゃ押された。あ、こっち。意外と元気そう。うおー。
But the paper balls swarmed together and pushed Daniel away, subduing him firmly in the corner. He couldn't move. Suddenly, ominous clouds rose from the box, and a violet lightning flashed through the room. The figure of a giant slowly emerged from the thick clouds, and the entire attic became overwhelmed with its evil aura.
The earthquake is growing stronger, now with a magnitude of 7.1.
どんどん強くなってんな。
The giant unleashed its power maniacally. The paper dragon struggled against it, with no means
なん
of
か封
fighting
印が
back.
解かれて自信が。D。
At this critical moment, two paper dragons shined brilliantly.
ドラゴンブレイク。
They heroically
突
crashed
撃。
their bodies into the giant.
他の攻撃はないのか。
Daniel thought the giant had been defeated by the paper dragons. But soon, he found that things would probably not be so simple. The giant's figure could still be seen in the thick smoke, looking evil and terrible. The attacks of the paper dragons had had no effect, and the giant had only grown stronger. It fought back with a new ferocity. The paper dragons were simply no match for it.
The earthquake is growing stronger
う
still.
わ。
The greatest disaster this town has seen in over 100
同じ日に何回地震が起きるの？
Will this nightmare ever end?
終わりじゃんもう。100年間最大の災害は。
With the paper dragons now all but defeated, Daniel spotted a frail figure in the distance. It was Penny. It flew gently in front of Daniel and affectionately rubbed its head against his fingers, as if this whole crisis had never happened. Daniel felt like Penny was trying to tell him something, but he didn't quite understand what.
よくわからない。
Penny then left
何が
Daniel
起きてんだ。
and soared into the air with a determination in its wings. Suddenly, the other paper dragons seemed to be summoned. They flew through the air, all together in unison, responding to the call without an ounce of hesitation. At that moment,
死んだ。
Penny turned into a great red beam and rushed fast towards the giant. The other dragons followed, shining together like a shooting star. At that moment, Daniel seemed to see a real dragon flying.
No!
No!
A huge explosion from the impact drowned out everything else in the attic. The attic rained down with countless pieces of paper, the leftover scraps of the paper dragons. Daniel wanted to collect all of the pieces. He thought he could still fix them.
Oh. Oh. あれこんなに自由に動かせんの OK
Goodbye, my friend.
Goodbye my friend 声低い
The nightmare is over. The earthquake has stopped. With God's mercy, our town is safe. We thank you, Lord, for your protection.
A few days later, the art festival was held as scheduled. Daniel attended the show with his penny whistle.
And now, Daniel Trevor will perform a
Daniel
penny
Trevor.
whistle solo of a song titled Fly With Me.
Fly with me うおー緊張するなこれそんなに前列何分あれも座ってないおーなんか出てきたおい集中できないよアウト苦手なんだよ音ゲーは何の話だよこれ SCP と関係あるのかよおお
And that's how the story ends. Now, you might be wondering, what happened next? Are there still paper dragons in the world? Well, that's a difficult question to answer. But I believe that they are still protecting us somewhere in this world, just like they promised they would, forever,
ヘロビードラゴン
into eternity.
そんな危険度ないやろあでも地震起こるかははーんダニエル&ドラゴンいけドラゴンドラゴン可愛かったね大好きかっこよかったですそれであの子たちは今どこにいるどこに SCP-1762 のは、生物研究所に保管されている ダニエル博士。ダニエル博士がその責任。ダニエル博士。あの箱はずっと動きを見せていない。ケントさん、どうしてその情報を？セミナーには出てないと思いました。ツンデレね。ケントはトレバー博士の下で、2年間 SCP-1762 を研究してたんだ。だからみんなより詳しいのさ。すごーい。あのオブジェクトは性に合わねえって言ったんだろう。ケントだら。でも、あなたが絵本の山の中で資料を整理してる姿を想像したら、微笑ましいわね。もういい。俺が仕事をする。念のためもう一度言うが、あのジョブクランチオブジェクトは性に合わない。ここに来て1ヶ月になるが、この仕事にもだいぶ慣れた。資料の整理というか、ちょっとも退屈ではない。一部のバカバカしい冗談を除けば、ほとんどの資料はとても興味深い。最近よく誰かが呼ぶような緊張が聞こえる。声は低く、ぼんやりとして何かを歌えているようだが、全く意味が理解できない。医者に見てもらおうと思うが、ゾーイはよくある新人症候群で、数日も経てば治るというだといいのだが、今回終わり？短っ。話聞いただけだよ。また仕事の内容。今回も怖いかなと思ったら、全然微笑ましかったな。まあ、終わります。